A disturbing new video has just surfaced of Sean Diddy Combs allegedly beating his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura. This is an immediate reaction to this bombshell video. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is a Law&Crime legal alert. Google Incognito tracked users' browsing data without their knowledge. Well, Mass Tort Alliance, one of our legal sponsors, is actually helping users file for compensation due to Google users' privacy issues through their Incognito browser. So if you've used Google Incognito anytime since 2016, you can start your claim in less than 10 questions at incognitoclaims.com/sidebar. Hey everybody, so this is as immediate reaction sidebar than we've ever had. I literally came on the air. I was on the air. I literally came off to jump on air here on this podcast on Sidebar, very off the cuff. Why? Because a new video has just been released, published by CNN, that purportedly shows Sean Diddy Combs of savagely beating his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura. Why does this matter? I'm going to give you context. You know we have been following everything regarding the Diddy saga for the past few months. We know that Cassandra Ventura, Cassie, was one of the first people, believe the first person, to file a lawsuit against Diddy. She settled with him the following day, but doesn't take away from the allegations that she asserted. Allegations of physical, sexual abuse, physical violence, sex trafficking, sexual slavery. We know that he faces other lawsuits. We know that his houses in L.A. and Miami were raided by federal agents pursuant to an ongoing sex trafficking investigation. But we haven't heard anything really about, major legal updates, major things, major pieces of evidence. Sure, there have been legal filings, but this video has now changed the entire conversation. And we're going to go through this. I want to warn you, so much of what we can and cannot show you because this is a very disturbing incident of physical violence. But what it is it actually matches up almost word for word with the complaint that was filed by Cassandra Ventura. I want to bring in right now Tracy Walder, former CIA and FBI agent, frequent contributor here on Sidebar, and also national security contributor here on News Nation. Tracy, your immediate reaction to seeing this, because it is absolutely gut-wrenching and incredibly disturbing to see, in my opinion. What do you think?
I could not agree with you more. It was shocking, quite frankly. It's not that I ever dismissed any of Miss Ventura's claims. I always have believed her and her claims. I suspect this video was probably used in terms of her bringing up that initial case. I'm also shocked, though, that there's not additional criminal charges as well. This is extremely severe, goes on for such a period of time, and she was clearly very much injured. It is just appalling to watch.
Now, before I mention what we see in the video, going back to the complaint, because this seems to line up with it. In her civil complaint, it says in or around March 2016, and we believe that is when this video is from. I'm just going to double check. They say this video is dated March 5th, 2016, during an FO. Now that is referred to as a freak off, one of these sexual encounters that was described in this lawsuit, where Diddy would force Cassandra Ventura to essentially have sexual relations with men in front of him during an FO at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles. Mr. Combs becomes extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Miss Ventura tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her, took glass vases in the hallway, threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator, and when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. This video, I'm going to describe it play by play. So this is from CNN. It says, the warning, disturbing images. You see Cassandra Ventura walking down this hallway. She's in a big oversized sweatshirt. And then you see Sean Combs in a towel running after her. And in the elevator bank, This is a hotel, public area, seeming no concern with anybody walking there. He grabs her by the back of the neck, throws her to the ground, and then proceeds to savagely kick her while she's on the ground. Proceeds to pick up her stuff and then delivers another kick to her. He then grabs her by the sweatshirt and drags her. There's no sound to this, but you could almost imagine she's screaming here, but drags her back.
I don't see anyone coming to her aid in any way, shape, or form. And I also don't see law enforcement or hotel staff. This went on, in my opinion, in watching this for a period of time.
And by the way, and the video stamp is, I think it's around 11 in the morning because, Tracy, when you see it, it looks like daytime.
Yes. It does look like daytime. And I guess, and again, I'm not here to shame bystanders in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm trying to do. But this was something that was clearly caught on hotel security camera, right? We see it now. I am assuming this was a very loud, raucous event that occurred, as you mentioned, in broad daylight. It seems like it's AM to me, but again, that's just what I'm garnering from the video. And I am very surprised that hotel security wasn't up there, especially because you have that added layer of Diddy being one of your guests at the hotel. And so there's a higher degree of security that typically comes with that, just in terms of security protocols. And so that would have been in place as well. And so I am not shaming the hotel or shaming bystanders, but I am very surprised that we didn't see a security official on that video.
And it doesn't end there, because then he allegedly pushes her into the corner and he sits down because you could see his reflection in the mirror from the elevator bank. So he's sitting down with the towel on. And it appears, taking it based on what she said in the complaint, throwing a vase in her direction. Incredibly disturbing video. And Tracy, we were at the point before this came out. Are the allegations of violence true? Some people said they never saw anything like this, but you had continual witness after witness and different complaint after complaint that was alleging very similar behavior. So when you look at this, how does this change the legal framework for Diddy? Because again, she settled this lawsuit, but there's still pending lawsuits and there's a pending possible federal investigation.
I think that's actually a great question, Jesse. And this actually just came to mind. Initially, when those raids happened simultaneously at both of his homes, his defense team really pushed back about the use of force that was used by law enforcement. And really, this video just speaks to that warranted use of force. This is someone that has a documented now violent past. And for law enforcement to use anything less than really what they did would actually be outside of their realm of protocol. And so that actually really bolsters that argument that law enforcement did act appropriately in doing what they were doing. But I also think, too, in terms of just the PR, because he is in a way, at least in my opinion, waging sort of a campaign of empathy for himself, right? And that none of these charges are real. Nothing against me is true. But now you are faced with this in this video, and it is no doubt Diddy. I'm not in any question of seeing him on that video. And so that's going to be very, very difficult to spin that.
Here's the thing. When they filed this lawsuit against Diddy, I have to imagine her defense team knew about this video. And I also 100%. Have to imagine this is why he decided to settle. He didn't want this coming 100%. Out. And we don't know what else there is.
I could not agree with you more. They had to have had this video. I think they must have. I think it's why they settled so quickly. But I don't think he ever imagined that this would come out, to be completely blunt.
And remember, when they settled this lawsuit, his team at the time, through Benjamin Braffman, basically said, I don't want this to be an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing. But Cassandra Ventura's team made it clear this doesn't mean it doesn't take away from her allegations. And in fact, Douglas Wigdor, who's her attorney, released a statement after this video came out saying, the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. Your reaction?
She is incredibly courageous. After watching that video, I cannot imagine what it took for her, quite frankly, to come forward. I mean, he was beating her. She could have been killed. I mean, I know it seems like I'm overreacting, but in watching that video, that truly could have happened. And she still came forward. And I think that is absolutely incredible. And it did take a tremendous amount of courage. And I cannot thank her enough really for speaking out for other women, quite frankly, who may be going through this. And it's incredible.
And I'm so glad you said that, because so many times these allegations come out and they say, oh, these women are, this couldn't have happened. Why would they stay with them if this happened? This is a money grab. It takes, unfortunately, video like this to come out for people to believe it. Now, let's be clear. Sean Combs wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't found liable in a court of law. But these were serious allegations that were consistent with other accounts. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes a video like this for people to believe that this happened. I'm curious now, with this video coming out, how do you think, and at the time of this recording, this is immediate reaction, how does Combs' team respond to this?
Gosh, Jesse, I guess the answer to that question is I don't know. I don't know how you respond to this. I would imagine just being consistent, right? With the other statements that I've looked at that his attorneys have put out. It's very much him being misconstrued by either law enforcement, by federal agencies. And so I have to wonder here if he's going to sort of, I don't want to say play a victim card, that's not the right word, but almost think that he has been victimized by this video coming out. It just seems to be consistent with the statements that he's made in the past. But again, I am completely hypothesizing here.
Some people might look at this and say, if this happened to her, why didn't she go to police, right? Well, in the complaint, in addition, any suggestion that Miss Ventura would refuse the FO, the freak off, or otherwise report Mr. Combs' abuse was met with ultimatums by Mr. Combs, who would say that Miss Ventura could not go to the police because she had a lot to lose. So there is this idea of this power that he had over the people in his orbit. And we saw echoes of this in other lawsuits. Rodney Jones, the producer who sued Diddy for sexual assault and harassment and sex trafficking, said that Diddy would threaten him and he would show him weapons and talk to him about how he was involved in these shootings and these illegal campaigns. And he had these, scary people that were working with him. Now we have a better understanding of, when we talk about if all of this is true, how law enforcement wasn't alerted to it beforehand, right?
Absolutely. I think she 100% feared for her life. What she had to lose was her life, very clearly in looking at that video.
Why didn't the hotel release this footage? Back in 2016, I mean, if they see this on their tapes.
Honestly, and again, I am hypothesizing here. I think when you're a powerful person, you can make a lot of things go away. And in my opinion, I think maybe he did not realize in that moment, clearly he was intoxicated or under the influence of something, or his staff realized, oh no, there's a CCTV camera here. We need to get this footage or put pressure on the hotel. Again, I'm 100% hypothesizing this is all alleged, but I think that's why it's been sat on for so long.
You're not wrong, because now, again, this is an immediate reaction episode, so I'm going back to the lawsuit. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from the evening. Your reaction?
Well, I mean, that's not at all surprising in any way, shape, or form. And if you want me to be, I guess, very crass, I'm surprised that amount is that low for a video like that, to be super crass.
Doesn't this feel to you that it gives so much support to the other lawsuits?
Yes.
And whether that means he's going to try to settle these now, or I don't know. How does it affect the other lawsuits? Because it makes me feel like he might want to settle these and not fight them if this is what just came out.
I believe he will maybe settle those other lawsuits. I agree with you in that. But I don't believe the Homeland Security federal one. I think these are two different issues, in my opinion.
Criminal and civil. And civil.
And so I don't think any of the criminal ones will be settled based on this video. I just don't. I wish that was the case, but I don't think that that's the case. But I believe the civil ones, yes, I do think he will be compelled to do that.
Is this a sign in any way, this coming out, this being published by CNN, of anything about movement in the federal case, you think?
I wondered about that when I first saw this video. Again, initial reactions, right? I'm like, are we laying a framework right now, right, for potential charges? Look, when I worked at the FBI, that's not something we engaged in, right? Like leaking videos and those kinds of things to garner public support. So I don't want to get down like that conspiracy road, but part of me does wonder a little bit if this is just to sort of lay a foundation in terms of what we're looking for in the future.
Yeah, it's I'm still kind of reacting to this. It was funny. We did an episode on Diddy and Kim Porter, the woman, mother of his children. And I listened to his eulogy, and I've been following Diddy, for a long time, in the sense following his music, and the image that he put forward. This is a completely different person than we have ever seen. And I think that aspect of it is an important point to make, is that these allegations are shocking, but sometimes we don't know who these people really are, these high, powerful people, these celebrities, or just individuals in general. How many times do we cover cases where people commit crimes you least expect it? But for me, I think there's no recovery from, even if he's not facing criminal charges, if he settles, there is no recovery from him in order to get back from this. You think he's going to be accepted by Hollywood business?
I would hope there's no recovery for this. Beating a woman, beating anyone is entirely unacceptable. And I do not believe that you should be accepted back into those circles. I mean, this is just appalling.
Okay, Tracy, I have to ask you, 2016, can law enforcement pursue charges? Can they go forward with charges after this?
Honestly, because I'm just now, obviously seeing this, I have not done enough research, to say whether or not. I don't believe statutes of limitations have run out in this. I think they can, but it's kind of up to them.
So if we say this is assault, again, guys, I'm literally looking at this. The statute of limitations for simple assault is 1 year, I think. I don't
think this is simple assault.
Sorry, simple assault. So this would be aggravated, right?
I believe so.
So let's call this aggravated assault. 3 years. I don't know if there's a way to toll it. I'm not sure. But, it's just.
What about felonious assault? If we look at what the case is, I'm just curious. I'm literally throwing things out there right now because I don't know.
When you say felonious assault,
because he's
felonious assault,
doing it with a weapon, right? You could argue the vases are a weapon. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but
no. It's there could be a statute of limitations issues there, but it does make me wonder this, and I'll leave this with everybody. After seeing this coming out, are we going to hear from more people? Are we going to hear from more accusers? Are people who have been silent going to speak out now?
It's a hard thing to say. I've never been a victim of domestic abuse like this, right? And so I don't know how that feels, and I want to be sensitive to whatever women are going through. Maybe this will give some of if he has other victims, some courage to come out and know that there won't be repercussions from that. But I truly don't know, because I don't know what that feels like.
Well, listen, Tracy Walder, thank you for jumping on to do this. This is just our immediate reaction to seeing this. It is incredibly disturbing. We will see the repercussions of this, and I'm sure we will get a Diddy response. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.